The chilling case of Terri McAdams, a Valentine's Day tragedy. Ready for another chilling story that'll make you question how twisted life can get? Grab a cup of tea or coffee. Trust me, you'll need it. Today we're talking about a case that's equal parts heartbreaking and baffling. It's the story of Terri McAdams, a bright young woman whose life was tragically cut short on the most romantic day of the year, Valentine's Day. But don't be fooled. This isn't about love, it's about darkness, and it took nearly 40 years to uncover the truth. Let's rewind to February 14th, 1985, Valentine's Day. For most people, it's about roses, chocolates, and maybe a candlelit dinner. But for Terri McAdams, a 22 years old and the oldest of three sisters, college student at the University of Texas at Arlington, that day turned into something out of a nightmare. Terri was at her fiancé's Arlington, Texas apartment on Valentine's Day, 1985. Her fiancé was out of town on a business trip, so Terri decided to surprise him by baking a heart-shaped cake. After finishing the cake, she called her soon-to-be sister-in-law to chat about her day. But moments after hanging up the phone, everything changed. Someone entered the apartment through a sliding door in the bedroom. The intruder beat her savagely, sexually assaulted her, and left her lifeless on the floor. She died from blunt force trauma, likely caused by a hammer or a similar weapon, according to investigators. Her body was found the next day by a maintenance worker. Can you imagine the horror of walking into that scene? Her fiancé's $5,000 engagement ring was missing, adding another layer of mystery to the crime. The scene was so chilling, it left even seasoned detectives shaken. But who could have done this? And why? Those questions went unanswered for almost 4 decades. The investigation began immediately. Detectives found a distinctive footprint outside the bedroom's sliding door, fibers, and a filtered cigarette near the scene. But back in 1985, DNA testing was still in its infancy. Terri's parents offered a reward, pleading with the public for help in catching their daughter's killer. But the case went cold, leaving her family and fiancé heartbroken. The couple had planned to marry within months. Imagine planning your future with someone, only to have it stolen in such a horrific way. You'd think someone would have heard something, right? I mean, how unlucky can you get? But no one noticed anything unusual. No strange noises, no suspicious figures. It was as if Terri's killer had planned this perfectly, or just gotten incredibly lucky. As the years went by, Terri's murder faded from headlines, but it never left the hearts of her family. Her sisters grew up carrying the weight of unanswered questions. Her parents never stopped hoping for justice, even as time seemed to bury their daughter's story deeper into the past. As time passed, the case went cold. Terri's family, friends, and the entire community were left with no answers. Imagine the frustration of knowing someone got away with something so horrific. It's enough to drive anyone mad. But some crimes, no matter how cold, refuse to be forgotten. And this one? It was just waiting for technology to catch up. Fast forward nearly 40 years to the 2020 forensic technology had advanced by leaps and bounds. Detectives re-examined the DNA from the cigarette and other evidence collected at the scene, this time using genetic genealogy. And finally, they got a match. The DNA belonged to Bernard Sharp, a name investigators had never encountered before. Sharp's story was as shocking as the crime itself. Here's the kicker: he had already died. Police discovered that 9 months after murdering Terri, Sharp went on a killing spree. He killed his wife, her friend, and critically injured his wife's cousin before turning the gun on himself. Can you believe that? A man capable of such horrific violence was hiding in plain sight. Sharp's attack on Terri was random, police concluded. He entered the apartment through the bedroom's sliding door and brutally murdered her. But Sharp didn't stop there. His violent tendencies escalated until he committed a double murder-suicide. It's chilling to think that Terri's death was only the beginning of his rampage. And here's another haunting detail. Investigators never found the murder weapon. They believed it was a hammer or a similar blunt instrument, but Sharp had taken that secret to his grave. Sharp wasn't some master criminal. He didn't have a long rap sheet or a trail of evidence pointing to him. He was, well, ordinary. And that's what's so terrifying. Apparently, Sharp had a history of violent tendencies, including several reported altercations with neighbors and co-workers, but nothing that screamed murderer to those around him. It's one of those cases where you think, how did no one see this coming? For Terry's family, the breakthrough was bittersweet. They finally had answers, but those answers came too late for justice. There would be no trial, no opportunity to face the man who destroyed their lives. Her parents, who had offered a reward and begged for closure, were left to process the fact that the killer had escaped justice, not just once, but twice. What makes this story so haunting isn't just the crime itself, but the sheer amount of time it took to solve. It's a reminder that justice, while often delayed, can still be achieved. So the next time you hear about a decades-old crime being solved, think of Terri McAdams. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that leave you questioning everything. Until next time, stay safe. And remember, justice may be slow, but it's never truly out of reach.